I did mention, yeah. So my it was like three. So from an architectural standpoint, to me, the site and the client are the most important things. If again, part of that's being a good listener to your listening to your client. So the clients for my line of work, clients are everything, but also where you're designing. That it's the physical surroundings, the environment, the culture. Sometimes if you're designing in Boston, you're probably going to have a different strategy than if you're out in the West in the woods somewhere.
Hmm.
So there's a culture that goes with that. And I think that actually can be reflected in the design. So I think, is that a rule for success? Maybe.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, having a strategy to center your project on the client and the site is
yeah. And
if you disregard the client and you disregard the site, it's certainly going to be a failure. But yes.
and so the let's see. Here's another one for me. Nothing beats a good plan. So I think you can tell a lot about a building with the plan. So that I don't know if that's a way to be successful, but in the design world, for me, nothing beats a good plan, except sometimes a good section.
So
But I
a
think
good plan is excellent. A good section, maybe, right?
yeah, so good. Yeah, so sectionally, you look at great buildings in there. There's usually a great section in there, and those are two-dimensional things. But I think that's we now we're designing everything three-dimensionally. But I think ultimately, not ultimately, but it's also important to think about these things two-dimensionally. That from a plan standpoint, we've got gravity. We can't fly. We walk through. We roll through. We crawl
Hmm.
um, through the spaces. Swim through. But yeah, so for me, a good plan is just so it can be so elegant. And again, sometimes a good section is really really amazing. Um, and then for me, the experience of architecture is more important than the formal. So how you move through a space, and that gets to the three-dimensional aspects. So I don't know if that's my one of my rules for success, but I always think how are the client how are people going to experience this more than the formal relationship?